Alright, so this is the first half of the last hour of the show. Enjoy. I have some toning to do. I have the windows open and I'll be listening from outside. Okay. Enjoy some clouds. And here we go.
Medically, what do you need to do now? Just get monitored, or what happens?
Well, I just finished radiation 10 days ago, so that part's done. That was pretty grueling. That was 33 days of every single day driving 40 minutes to the radiation center.
That's a lot.
Every single day, yeah. It's a heavy thing, but it's like a 40% increase in survival for the cancer that I have, so it was worth it. I was willing to do it.
That's a dramatic turnaround for you.
It is, and that's what I keep trying to say about the chemo and the radiation and the surgery is if you actually do the research on it, don't just believe that, it's terrible for you. You'll see it really massively increases your chances of survival. It particularly in my case, because of where I was with the cancer. So that part's done, and because I have about 20% of breast cancers are a very aggressive form, which is called HER2 positive. It means that the cancer, the cells are using as fuel, they're using a growth hormone in the bloodstream. And so when they get a hold of it, they use it just like putting gas in a tank, and they grow like crazy, which is why the tumor was so big.
That's right.
So there's a special drug that women who have that kind of cancer receive for an additional year. And I will be done with that in June. So I do that every 3 weeks. I go in and I get an infusion of this Herceptin-like drug. And it's actually one of those targeted things I was telling you, where they found the genetic component of the cancer cell and they're targeting it. And instead, it's kind of cool because it sort of mimics the fuel that they're looking for, that the cancer cells look for. They have these little receptors, and instead of picking up the fuel, they pick up this little targeted drug that then kills them. So it's pretty neat.
In your research, did you see anything about pH balance of your body?
Believe it or not, George, there's actually some research out there showing that in the presence of low pH, and I know everybody's on the alkalinity thing, that in the presence of low pH, there are actually some cancers that proliferate, that actually grow faster. And that was like, okay. Now, I will notice this, though. I bought the pH strips back during that month. I told you I was trying to do the natural thing for a month before I did the chemo, or before I did the surgery and the chemo. And when I was eating properly, and when you're eating right? I mean, when you're eating salads and healthy.
And not a lot of sugary things.
Yeah, you're not living on Baconators and beer, right? So when I'm eating right, the alkaline strips look better. They actually look really good. And when I'm eating badly, the alkaline strips don't look good.
That's right.
But I don't need the alkaline strip to tell me that I'm eating badly or well. My own brain and my own experience and my own body tell me.
It just reinforces things.
It does. And it was helpful because it was kind of like a motivator. I'm going to eat right so that tonight when I pee on this little strip, it's going to be the color I want it to be instead of the color I don't want it to be. And that was helpful because it kind of kept me in mind that if I eat properly, it's going to look good. But the reality, your blood and your body systems internally are set within a very narrow range of pH. And if you modify it too much, some of these people who are using baking soda and injecting it have actually had some patients die over in Europe by having their electrolyte balance and their pH balance of their bloodstream throw off, go out of whack, and they wind up with, unexplained cardiac failure and other things. So it's a little dangerous to really mess with that. But the common sense stuff that you and I know to do, you exercise. You don't drink too much. You don't eat garbage.
No, you just don't do
garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah, we all know that. It's just how do you put all that together and what motivates you enough to really do it? And, sometimes it takes a cancer diagnosis to make those changes.
To the phones now we go. East of the Rockies, Jeff in Cleveland, Ohio will be our first. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hi, George. How you doing?
Good, Jeffrey. Thank you.
I'm so glad I finally get a chance to talk to you. Best wishes for your daughter.
Thank you.
And same to you, Catherine, for your continued success there. The first thing I wanted to talk about is homeopathic remedies. There's this stuff, you know that they've been using honey like 5,000 years ago in Egypt for medicinal purposes.
Yeah.
Well, there's this stuff. It's called Mancur honey. It's M-A-N, like man, K-U-R. And it's available only from New Zealand. And apparently, it does everything. kills nausea. It's an anesthetic. You can use it on open cuts. You can use it on burns. It just does all kinds of things. So look that one up. And there's just too many things that it does to even go over on the phone. You might want to do a show next time you have a homeopathic person on there based around that. But I wanted to find out a couple of things about the internet situation. First of all, if you use private browsing, does that still target the information back to Google, or does that completely separate all of that?
It does. So I assume you're talking about Start Page. And by the way, George, I got an email asking me if it's Star Page, and it's Start.
Start, S-T-A-R.
All right.
No, I wasn't talking about that. Firefox and Internet Explorer both have.
All right. We're gonna have to part two this.